In the summer of 2006, a group of arborists and recreational tree climbers traveled a few yards off the beaten path and 70 feet straight up to find their own little piece of treetop northern prairie paradise in Minnesota's Fort Snelling State Park. A perch amongst the poplars on the banks of the Minnesota and Mississippi rivers, only a few miles from the center of Minneapolis, but a world away from the concrete and glass towers that rivaled their altitude, where an elevator ride to the top floor and the express back down took on whole new meanings. A chance to revel in the childhood joys of scrambling up a limb on a quiet summer afternoon, relax as the breeze blows away the worries of the world 7 stories below. A celebration of what recreational tree climbing is all about, courtesy of the Tree Research and Education Endowment Fund and its sponsors. The Tree Fund was established in 2002 to combine the efforts of the International Society of Arboriculture's Tree Research Trust and the National Arborist Foundation, both of which had spent the better part of the last 30 years supporting research into the needs of arboriculture and urban forestry.
This year, the Tree Fund proudly celebrates 3 decades of advancing science in the field of arboriculture. And so from 2001 to 2005, over $1 million has been given to research in the tree-related field, as well as almost $50,000 in scholarships to students that are the future leaders of this industry.
Each year, in conjunction with ISA's annual conference, the Tree Fund conducts a fundraising auction of tree-related items and activities, including a recreational climb. This year's adventure included a trampoline mounted 70 feet up, a zip line out through the treetops, and a special culinary experience for the climbers at the end of the day.
This is the sautéing of the vegetables.
Preparations for this ambitious climb began weeks earlier, as Dave Nordgaard of Top Notch Tree Care oversaw a volunteer crew of professional arborists as they set up rigging that, along with the usual ascending lines and safety rigging, included securing a backyard trampoline 70 feet above the ground, and a pulley system to use a portable power winch as an elevator for the climbers. Something appreciated by both the recreational and professional climbers alike, although some of the pros still chose to demonstrate more traditional ascending techniques. The setting for this year's climb had a great deal to do with tradition. The encampment that became known as Fort Snelling has stood over the confluence of the Minnesota and Mississippi rivers for almost 2 centuries, originally chartered with a mission to prevent encroachment on the Native American lands. The Dakota Indians have always deemed this area sacred and still celebrate it as the birthplace of the people. The trees used in this year's climb standing in what Dakota folklore entitles the center of the universe. This heritage of respect for nature extends from the Native American past to today's recreational climbers, a respect for all that trees have to offer in forest or urban settings, an impromptu lecture on the history of the area's flora and fauna provided by a state naturalist who stopped by the climb site. Back in the tree, a line is rigged for the afternoon fun event.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1!
A 200-plus yard zip line from above the trampoline to a treetop anchor point 50 feet below, providing a ride that would put any amusement park attraction to shame.
Love you, Mom. 5, 4, 3, 2.
And this, my friends, is fun in trees.
pipe.
You ready?
I'm ready, man.
Woohoo!
Despite the wild look of the zipline ride, the crew's attention to safety was paramount during the climb. Experienced climbers offering ground school training to beginners,
Pulley behind it. Grab the rope right behind the pulley, lean in a little bit, and pull. Pull out. Pull out, or see how.
and employing a treetop buddy system
We got Tristan here is new to climbing.
so that everyone has a safe and successful climb, and even first-timers feel comfortable enough to snap into the traveler, step to the edge, and take a leap of faith for a chance to skim the treetops on the ride down.
Okay, ready?
Yep. You ready?
Yep.
Here you go.
You ready?
Answering their own version of a classic philosophical question, if a tree guy flies through the forest, does he make a sound?
Yeah.
A good-natured bit of fun, making use of serious climbing techniques and hardware.
You know, if you think this looks like fun, you ought to see the pros do it.
The coinciding ISA conferences also host the annual International Tree Climbing Championship, a weekend pitting arborists from around the world in timed and judged events covering skills and techniques used in all aspects of professional tree care.
Very nice job.
For these climbers, there's no elevator ride to the top and then leisurely stroll across a limb.
Go, Mark! Go, Mark!
Despite the frantic pace of ITCC events, safety is still the watchword for judges and competitors. And as the best of today's climbers scramble through the leaves, tomorrow's climbers are given a taste of the action at a fun climb tree. One of the more popular displays at the ITCC, the Fun Climb allows kids, adults, even whole families a chance to try a little gravity-defying saddle and rope action. A quick fit with the proper climbing gear, some basic instruction on handling the hitches, and future climbing champions can take to the trees. A tantalizing few moments that inspire young dreams of the real action available to climbers. Back at the Tree Fund climb, the zip line has seen its last daredevil of the day. Tired and hungry, climbers prepare for a unique end to the event, a 3-course meal with the entree prepared and served at a treetop level.
And the wild rice must be cooked before you come out into the woods. Otherwise, you'll be waiting for the water to boil a long time.
After some preparations at the base camp, climbers raise and secure a work table and construct a dumbwaiter using the power winch to fly up the needed cooking supplies.
This will be the first, but not the last. This is just too cool.
As the late afternoon shadows stretch across the canopy, a feast of shrimp salad, wild rice soup, baked potatoes, green beans almondine, and pan-seared freshwater pike are served to the contented climbers.
We're serving wild rice consomme. Hold on. You gotta have broth with your wild rice.
Oh yes, oh yes. There's the thumb. Gary?
You got a spoonie?
Yes. Hold on.
A 5-star menu suspended 70 feet in the air.
Oh, I think it's Bill's turn for soup. Now you're ready.
Not bad.
Ready?
Cheers, guys.
Okay, gentlemen, what are we gonna say? If you have this on the shore, you potatoes.
Tree climbing is fast becoming a recreational sport of choice, combining the beauty of nature with the unique perspective that comes from leaving the ground behind. Training classes, day trips, even treetop camping tours are popping up across the country, all with the aim of instilling an appreciation and respect for the environment we live and work in, whether it's a short climb to the top of a backyard maple or a towering redwood on the West Coast. Plus, a healthy respect for the safety practices necessary to prevent climbers or trees from becoming injured. With the right gear and proper training, a weekend adventure could be as close as the next stand of tall trees. The 2006 climb was the latest event in a celebration of trees that will continue in forests and parks around the world as long as little kids, and those little kids at heart, look up between the branches and see a stairway to the center of the universe.
This, my friends, is fun in trees.
Love you, Mom.
This is just too cool.